Johanna.
On our page, we collect ideas, we collect inspiration for people, and we will also, that's a spoiler now, we want to do something with different people as well concerning conscious lifestyle and living for the planet, like doing good for our planet.
That's really great. So do you have people already lined up, or?
Yes.
That's really cool. Where is my invite? No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
You will see, you will see.
I really like that.
Yeah.
What I like about you and what I like about this idea as well is that you never do it in a pretentious way. You do it in a very loving way, very like, hey, this is a book we've been reading right now. I love that you were talking about this book. What was the name of it?
Minimal: How to Live Your Sustainable Lifestyle.
So what I really liked is that you both gave very honest feedback that, this might be more for beginners, or there's some parts where you're like, but, that is really, really smart. And also the way you do it in a very clean way and very like you do it very like sleek and very pretty. And I was like, oh, aesthetically, this is so hot right now.
Yeah. This is also really, really big discussion about aesthetics, because we both of us, we really love tidiness, we really love cleanness and all that kind of stuff, and also like good aesthetic, like the picturesque, picture perfect Instagram aesthetics, which I actually really hate, because I don't follow anyone who does this really professional, except maybe for 2 or 3 food blogger, let's call them like this, because they have really good recipes, so that's why. But normally, like all the people who really want to influence me with their products and all that kind of stuff they use, and like they put everything in a perfect light, of course, so I will buy it. I can't consume that stuff, because I only see the fakeness of it, and I only see, it's prepared and you want me to buy it. And so that's also a huge, huge thing where I find myself always in between. Like, I don't want to influence people, kind of, but of course I do. Of course, I also do it on my private account. I mean, if you watch it, you are maybe influenced by it. Like, it can influence you in some way, whatever. But this is not the purpose. This is not the aim. So I don't want to get into that picture perfect Instagram feed kind of thing. But we still like the aesthetic. We try to really find a balance in between, like still nice colors, but I don't want to spend hours of time of my day to just edit the picture.
To me, it feels more like it's advice, if anything, and you can take it or you cannot. And I think that's why I find the term influencer to be so annoying, because influencing a person, that's fucking terrible. The person has their own mind and their own choices and their own if they find what you do interesting, they will take your advice and say thank you. And advice is for free, right?
And we also really don't want to lose humor, even though it's not always, because I'm just really, most of the time it needs to be something funny. Whatever I do it, but then of course I lose the seriousness about it. But we do a mixture of both of us, both of our opinions, of our ideas, and whoever really likes it can follow, and the rest, it's okay, they don't need it. It's like I really don't wanna zwingen,
force it.
Don't want to force anybody. Actually, it's just for ourselves. Like, then we also can scroll through it one day, and then maybe we think, oh my god, do you see, like last year we did this kind of bread.
The progress you get to witness, like in the beginning when you try. I remember when I was trying like a more plant-based approach, I would buy all the substitute foods, like vegan, I don't know, chicken nuggets and vegan this and vegan that. And then you discover plants are pretty freaking cool. And then you just watch yourself being like, oh, and I could try this and I could try that. And then 2 years from now, you're like, that was interesting when I went through that whole vegan chicken nugget phase.
Just nobody really, or not nobody, but not that much people realize the power of plants and like the variety of different plants. Whatever you find in the forest, you can take a lot of stuff with you. And also use it for cosmetics, for example. It's not nature. I learn it every day. Nature is just the best gift we have.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I live on a really busy street, so this can happen sometimes. Okay. But that's really true. And I think, again, you're giving advice. You're not selling anything. You're just sharing stuff with the world. And that's what, on the one hand, I found very conflicting for a long time. For example, with this podcast and with everything I create, I was like, what am I trying to do here? But really, we live in a time where we're lucky enough to be able to share our stuff with an audience, and whoever decides to watch will join. And it's this beautiful thing, I think. Yeah, because for me, entertaining and showing people things basically is what makes me happy.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I also had like really the urge when I was a child. I did it a few times, like without conscience. It just happened. I did something, or I was telling something, and people laughed. And then suddenly I started to realize, okay, I can do this on purpose. I can say funny things, or I can do this and that, and they will laugh. And I loved it whenever somebody was laughing. It was not even jokes. It was just random, I don't know, random stuff I was talking about, and they were laughing. And I really, it was a real love. And what is better than a real love from somebody who maybe hasn't even laughed the whole day? It warms my heart. It's just great to see. And that's also one of the reasons I wanted to be on stage.
I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand is, as an actor, as a person who gets on stage, you don't see money for a very, very long time. And that doesn't really matter, because for you, it makes you so happy to see people laugh, to see people come out of like what you just showed and being like, just that. And then just they come up to you sometimes and they say like, that part was so good. Or when they quote back to you, you know, you're like, oh my God, I made you laugh. Money is the least of things. At some point, of course, you know, it is, which is also, you're a travel guide, right?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Concerning money, yeah. Sure that. So that's the place where the money comes from. I started this also back in 2018. So I took a class kind of thing. So I am a diplomierter Reiseleiter. And you can do a class, but you are not really forced to do it. Like you can just go out and just sell whoever company is taking you, sell them that you're a travel guide and that you're doing it like every day. They would believe you if you're a good actress, maybe. And that means everybody could basically do it. So it's actually the same with acting, kind of. I mean, actors, they do Vorsprechen, and they are really happy if somebody takes them, actually, and if they find work, because also for women it's way harder than for men, because most of the parts in acting pieces are actually written for men, because women were just really not that active in a piece centuries ago.
Yeah, and for some reason they forgot to change that. It's so weird, right?
It's getting better, but really, really slowly. And so that's where we still are really suffering. And of course, you can cross roles, like a woman can play the character of a man, of course, but it's not that common.
And it's also not fair to begin with. So
yeah.
But anyway,
so back to travel guide. And I did this lesson, or like this class, which was 3 months, I guess. And then the good thing was they immediately connected me to companies, and I already had I could already apply for them and talk to them, and was invited to a Bewerbungsgespräch.
An interview.
A job interview. And the great thing was I immediately got a job. And so I actually worked like only 1 month after I finished my lesson, my class. It was really exciting. The first tour was in Vienna, which was good because I knew Vienna. But then I did a next tour, which was just 1 month after this, all over Europe for 3 weeks with 36 American teenagers. Fortunately, I was not alone. I have always teachers with me, all the social kind of stuff. That's what they do, and I am responsible for the organization. But I also I see so many places. I eat a lot of different food when I'm traveling around with the group, and I meet, of course, a lot of different people from all over the world. But now I'm still in Europe, actually, so not all over the world yet. I'm craving to go somewhere else, like also over Europe.
But how do you prepare for those tours? So you go, for example, the one that was all over Europe for 3 weeks with those American teenagers. Did you know all the places you were going to?
No. That happens actually quite often, that you visit places where you have never been, and you need to lead your tour group through the place. For example, I was never in Dublin before, and then on my itinerary it said, okay, you need to do a walking tour through Dublin, and the afternoon you have free time. So you give them leisure time in the afternoon, and you plan for yourself whatever route it is, whatever places you want to join or like have on your route, come by. And that's all your decisions. So the good thing is I am my own boss, so nobody can tell me what I really need to do. I mean, of course, the company, they give me the information. The program says the customer needs to see, like in Vienna, I would say, okay, the customer needs to see Schloss Schönbrunn. They need to see the Stephansdom. They need to see the Prater with the Riesenrad. And all these kind of really, really typical touristic things. And I can decide when do they see it, how do they see it, are we going there by bus, are we doing a walking tour or whatever. So that's on me. Yeah, I can always change, and it's great.
And so when you were in Dublin, for example, did you just go first on your own to like understand where you wanted to take the people? Or
that's the thing, you never have the time to do that. No, because the thing is, we most of the time sleep outside of the city. It always depends. Sometimes we have a hotel inside the city, sometimes, of course, a few kilometers outside. Then the thing is, the appointment for the Dublin tour is at 2 p.m. and you actually arrive in the hotel just the night before.
Right.
But I am depending on my bus driver. So I cannot go to the bus driver and just ask him, hey, man, could you just take me to Dublin? Because I just want to take the walk for myself, just to examine it and just to be sure, like, okay, where do I go? Where do I turn left? Where do I turn right? No, it's always the first time. And the first time is for me the first time also as it is for the customer, like for the pupils in this kind of case. So I just go there with my phone. Really, thanks to that, thanks to the internet, because without that, I would just really need to go by map and just mark the route and then follow the route, of course, which I still do with my phone as well. But
that's exactly what I saw you doing, just going like, and now we're going here, like with the big map.
Yeah, it works. I mean, of course, I learn it for myself. I also prepare that exactly at home, of course, like before the trip. So I know, all right, we will see 5 different sites in Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I bring them from here to there, to there, to there. And we do a big circle and then walk around all the way back. And that's the place where I will leave them alone and wave goodbye. And then we will meet again after 2 hours of free time.
You get to discover the place with the people.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you have to hide your excitement, when you're at the place and you're like,
yeah,
this is the place.
I mean, yeah, it's also really funny because I have prepared a lot of notes, of course, because I don't know everything by heart. And so I have my notes. And when we're walking, with a lot of kids, it gets a really long queue, like so many children. And like, then you need to wait again because the half of the group is behind there and half of the group is with you. And then there's a car coming through and then you need to wait again and everything takes really long. So sometimes it's really, really, really tiring, but it works. And then when they are back and I need to wait, I can always find a minute and just check my notes and just go through them again. And then, okay, this is the church, this and that, St. Paul's Cathedral, whatever, London. But yeah, and then built in and all the different kind of facts, I will just refresh my mind. You can never bring too much years, like exact numbers or too much, all the historical stuff. Nobody will remember that. You always have to bring infotainment. That's what they call it. Yeah, it's really important. Always a mixture between info and entertainment.
That sounds really fun and also a lot less annoying than having to go through like numbers. I think they, you say all these things and then they're like, mm-hmm. But did someone poop in that cathedral and everyone saw?
When you are at a certain place and you tell them, oh my God, do you see over there at the door, there was an Abdruck.
Imprint?
Yeah, an imprint from a certain shape of an animal. Why is that? And then, most of the time I tell true stories, of course, but sometimes I also invent stuff just because I see it and I think like, oh my God, it could be this and that. And then everybody's like, oh, wow, oh my God. And then on the bus, you hear them talking, you go through the lanes and then they are talking about, oh yeah, It's like at the church when we saw the imprint. And then,
It is so
it's the
cool.
best. You get so much back.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's really important to you from what I can hear and feel.
I'm a really social person. I have never lived on my own. And I also don't know if I'm a person that could really live on her own in a flat, like in a city. I don't know if I prefer people.
I want to really thank you for joining me today on a Sunday, especially. You know, on Sunday, everyone slept in my family. And my mom always said, it's the day of the Lord. Since we're Jews, for us, it was like, it's sleep day. So, so for me, it was really hard to get out of that rut to be like, no, Sundays are also days to be productive. You can do something with your life. So I'm really, really grateful that we got to do this on a Sunday and that you brought so much excitement as well. My co-hosts, Vivi and Mathieu, they were reading through the email and they were like, oh my God, Johanna is so excited. That's so lovely. It's really cool.
That's
Thank
the
you.
end?
Yes, unfortunately
No.
it is.
Oh my God. It's time flies, really. I just could continue all the time. Like the whole day, I could just talk in front of my laptop, talk with my laptop. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for thinking of really inviting me with my really, really chaotic explanations. So I hope that you will get the sense out of all that mess.
What are you even talking about? You did great. I don't know if you feel that sometimes, but I do. When I have a really good conversation, I feel like I could cry at any moment. And that's been going for this whole call. I'm just like, contain yourself. Contain yourself. You can't cry on camera. So really,
you can.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, like let it go, embrace the feelings.
No, I really, really appreciated this. And I know it took me a while to get back to you, like, because this, as much as I love this baby, it's so much work that I need to take care of and so much talking to Vivi and Mathieu as well, because I know people don't see them as much.
What are their tasks? Please let me know. I just don't really know.
So actually they're kind of like this is so odd. So the idea, first of all, before Corona started, was that we would do episodes together and have other people join maybe. And what was the plan is that I would also let them take charge of the topic we want to work on, the person we want to work with, and also let them edit the whole episode. Oh my God, someone's been calling me all the time because she wants me to walk with her dog. Thank you. So that was actually the goal, that I would teach them. I don't know, I taught myself all this editing and everything, but you know, since I have that knowledge, why shouldn't I share it with them? So that was the idea, to let them work on some projects. But we're starting to notice now that like I started this and I need to be okay with the fact that this is that something I was talking about with my sister, actually. She leads an organization, a chapter in Austria from this big organization. And she was like, let me tell you something. And she's younger than me and so smart. And she was like, it's lonely at the top, but you have to deal with that sometimes. And I was like, the top? She's like, Nicole, this is your thing. This is like, you created this from nothing, basically. And you need to understand that it's yours and no one will ever understand that, and this is your brand, basically. Which I hate saying, your brand, but
it really is. Oh my God, she has a point. I see it.
So they're like we have a lot of meetings and a lot of calls where I'm just like, what do you guys think of this, what do you guys think of that? And it's nice because I'm a big sharer, so if I didn't have them, I would immediately post everything on Instagram and on Facebook and all that.
We learn that in acting as well when we do body acting workshops. The thing is, don't waste your energy. That's what we always learn. That's exactly what I just thought about when you say, oh my God, I have so many ideas and I could bring this on Instagram and this, and then it's like, blah, 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 and it's everything out, but it's just not focused. I mean, it's okay, but the better it would be if you just really try to find one or two or like less certain ways or paths or whatever you call it, and bring them out like with aim, and then it's like it has so much power in that one kind of thing.
Exactly. I would post stuff, and if it didn't work out, I'd be like, oops. Or it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was, like, oh my God, big news, nothing, And so it definitely helps to be in contact with them all the time. And also, like, the episodes we did do together, these two, they were so impactful for me and my person and everything that had to do with how we wanted to shape the second season. We really wanted to go into a lot more depth. And that also meant that I had to force myself out of my comfort zone. I get to ask you guys questions and hide in my little corner and just stay focused and, like, have you engage with me. And that's when I felt bad, because so many people that join this podcast are giving their all to me. They're just opening up and I'm just not. And so that's why for the second season, I had to accept that this is what's going to happen now. Evie was also like, this is going to be online. You need to understand that that's difficult for me. And so it's been a really interesting process, for sure. Me taking charge is very scary because I feel like I'm kind of excluding everyone.
You're doing the opposite. You're trying to include them as good as possible, right? So that's what I hear. Do you think the problem is because you're separated, like really örtlich? That's maybe
physically,
like physically, that's it. Because you are on your own, and if you would have this project really on your own, then you could do everything you want, because you don't have in mind, okay, I have two other people there, they're actually with me, they want to join me, but they can't because we can't meet each other now because of Corona. So maybe that brings you in a different or difficult position.
So Johanna just realized that this is going to be video and audio, and so we had a little bit of a conversation about how she's beautiful and how it doesn't matter, and how I'm wearing this satin kimono and I don't wear makeup and I'm a disgusting person, but I love that.
Me too. Really, me too.
Amazing.
I love not showering.
Not showering during the days has been so fun.
Yeah. But also then if you have a shower, I still need to admit it really gives you a good feeling. Yeah,
but that's the thing. True. When you shower after being so gross, it's so nice.
Yeah, that's even better then. Yeah. Or what I really, really felt now, since I'm trying to do more sport, which I never did before. So now I do it. So quarantine, that's good for my fitness, I think. So now I try to do sports. And then when you really have a good sweat and then you go into shower, it's just
and you don't need the water to be so hot because you're already so hot yourself. And so you're just like, take all the, I love imagining that there's just this layer of sweat and of disgustingness that just disappears, and you're like a snake. You become a new person, you know what I mean?
You rinse it all off. Yeah, it's a reborn. It's a rebirth.
Yeah, it's a rebirth. Thank you, quarantine. Kind of, but not really, because it's also terrible, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's the whole, looking at things in a happier way, right?
That's what we try to do. Yeah.
So on that note, again, I'm very, very happy that you joined me today.
Join me, hug me, join me.
Yeah. Thank you. And we'll be allowed to see each other soon. I don't know how to feel about that, but if we can, we should. And please, guys, check out JAMARKT. I'll link it down below on the YouTube, but she's on the Instagram. Follow Not So Whimsical on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you are. If you haven't already, I love you.
Me too. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah.
Look, I have curtains as hair. Ooh. Where did she go? Here she is. Where did she go? Here she is. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. That's really, really nice of you. We love you. Especially me. I love you.